work in our hearts. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, all right. So this is our family that was introduced. My name is Arvi. I'm a medical professional. I'm a physician and internal medicine physician for 16 years now. But in our family,
We'll hear you better if you turn the switch on.
oh, was that just me in the hello?
I'll unmute it here in a moment.
Okay. But our family has recently moved towards healthy lifestyle, and that is over a span of years. You know, what we'll serve you today is what we eat at home for breakfast. And the kids will also demonstrate their part in that breakfast. So we will serve you what we eat. But just to contrast what we were eating before it will just be boxed cereals and then soy milk, you know, packed soy milk, and that's it. Maybe a few berries. So it is devoid of completeness. So in your handout, you're going to see the next one. It says health loss. And it would not be advantageous for us to talk about health, but not talk about other parts of health, right? Every time we talk about health, I go through the health loss because what we're talking about here is just the first letter. What do you see there? It's still a bit small. N is for, what is N? Nutrition. We're only touching N today, and a part of it, nutrition. E is for? Exercise. So a friend of mine who is also health conscious talked about her friend who is an optometrist, and that's a sit-down job, right? And he was eating healthy, but he wasn't exercising. So he suffered from that, you know. His life ended shortly. And that's what we're working on. We cannot just eat healthy and not move. Because what we don't use, we lose. Your muscles, right? People in outer space without gravity, they actually have an exercise program. So we need to move. So what is W? Water. W is water. And I always tell my patients, liquid is not water, right? Coffee, soda, high fructose juice, it's not water. Water is water. Water is 75% in your cells. So when you run, like I did when I was on 80-hour residency, when you run on coffee like I did before, right? My system had no choice but to get whatever liquid it can get. But it's not the best. It's like putting the wrong kind of fuel in your tank. Will your machine run? It will ruin the machine. But because the human body is a wonderful mechanism, it can go on for some time. But you will feel the results, right? I had a patient who only drank soda. Guess what he had as a recurrent issue? What do you think? Where does your blood go to be cleaned up?
Your liver.
Liver, where else? Kidneys? Yes. He had recurrent kidney stones. Shock after shock after shock, and I told him it's because you're not drinking water. Right? We have to drink water. Unfortunately, even in the medical profession, not everybody thinks that way. So we went to the urologist and told him, no, that's not true. So I told him, just think about it, right? All your blood goes through your kidneys, and if you don't drink enough water, even gallbladder stones, friends, is from lack of water. Your headache may be lack of water. Your dry skin, of course, is lack of water, right? Constipation, lack of water. I can go on and on with that. Can you survive 3 days without water? Yeah, up to 3 days, and after that, that's it. Right? So we have to drink our water. How much water? 8 ounces times 8 glasses a day on average, right? But on a hot day, we need more. And friends, if we're trying to lose weight, your weight in pounds divided by 2, that is your ounce requirement. So if you're 150, you need 75 ounces a day. Does that make sense? Now don't drink more than that. Don't drink too much because your sodium can also get diluted. What's the next S? S. Sunshine, right? Okay, if you didn't get your sunbathing in the summer, it's acceptable to take your vitamin D. How much? Up to 4,000 and vitamin D3 international units. It's good to have it checked because you can overdose on the supplements. There's a vitamin D toxicity that can happen if you take too much. So does that make sense? So is sun equals skin cancer?
No.
No. What equals skin cancer? Sunburn. It's when the redness in your skin doesn't go away, you get blisters, so we need the sun, friends. Do you feel self-control. What does that mean for you? That means I really want to, but I shouldn't, so I will not. Right? I really want to eat that, but I should not. So I will not. It's not like I really want to eat it, but I shouldn't, so I will. So we all have to practice that, and there's that split-second decision. So A is air. We are blessed in the Northwest with good air if we go outside our homes, if we open the window. Because friends, indoor air pollution is real #1 cause of asthma in childhood. Oh, we need to open more windows. Okay, our window is open at night, so that's okay. And R is rest. I have not been having enough rest. When you lose one night of sleep, and I'm talking to myself here, your immune system goes down very dramatically. One night, if you don't get enough sleep. We have a daily rest and we have a weekly rest. Our family keeps the 7th-day Saturday Sabbath that the Lord has designed for us to spend time with our family and not to do laundry. Who wants to not do laundry in a day? Right? So God designed the Sabbath for our enjoyment. And I really enjoy that. Do you like Sabbaths? Yeah? Is it Sabbath yet? Right? Okay, it's a wonderful thing to follow how God provided the weekly rhythm. And T is trust. Trust in God, and of course trust in maybe your spouse, people you rely on, right? Would it be very hard if you're just alone and you're saying, I'm alone, nobody loves me, and I cannot trust anybody? Is that good for mental health?
No.
No. Isolation is our enemy, friends. Now is the time to reach out. Okay? So, even though we serve you a healthy meal, if we have the enemies of our health in the New Start, we need to treat that a little. Okay? But today we're doing the end. So we're going to talk about balance. That means we have healthy oils, healthy fat, protein, and good carbohydrate in what we will eat every day. And friends, we do separate our vegetables from our fruits for digestive issues. So our breakfast is fruits, and then our lunch is vegetables. And we do eat, well, we kind of have soup at night, right? Okay. And we eat unprocessed food. Who will take fertilizer here for food? Not fertilizer, like chemicals for food. No, right? But yet, if we're not particular about what we eat, we do, right? Not outright, but it's hiding. And we also advocate for plant-based diet. Your next slide there shows a study. Then I present this all the time in my health talks. This came from the British Medical Journal, Prevention and Health. This is a study of healthcare workers and their risk for moderate to severe COVID based on what they eat. Do you think that what you eat affects your immune system? Yeah, other than maybe lack of sleep? So you see here, pesco vegetarians are people who eat plants and seafood. And their risk for moderate to severe COVID was decreased by half. Wouldn't that be nice, right? Better than any drug is what you eat. Now, if you remove the fish and you become vegetarian, so vegetarian and vegan are different just because vegans don't take anything from animals, so no honey and other things. So, plant-based diet reduces your risk of moderate severe COVID by 73%, almost 3/4 risk reduction. Will you take that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would. Okay, the next one is keto diet. Have you heard keto? Have you tried keto? Who has tried keto here? That's high fat, high protein, low carbohydrate, high fat diet. And if you see your miniature slide there, how many percent increase in moderate to severe COVID risk does it say?
286.
286%. Increased risk of moderate to severe COVID, almost 300% if you're eating all animal meat and not a plant-based diet. So because our body is made out of the food we eat. And then there's that acid-base balance that we don't have time to discuss right now. You see that autoimmune plant-based cookbook, right? This is the lowest inflammation diet you can have. Who doesn't have joint pain here? Okay, you didn't raise your hand, you don't have joint pain, that's good. So I see that the rest have, right? Tata, you want to share, since we've started eating this way, what happened to your hands?
So I used to have arthritis
In your...
my fingers, but now it's gone. Yeah.
Praise God.
Just for 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the lowest inflammation type of food you can eat. That means it's good for your immune system. If you have backache, knee ache, or arthritis is arthritis. I understand that. If you need a knee replacement, perhaps that's different. But your day-to-day pain would be helped. So I would pass the baton to my husband, and he's going to show us how to make quick coconut milk. How did we get our coconut milk before? We bought it from
Costco.
Free Flood from Costco, and they're on, what are they packaged on? Cartons, right? Cartons, yeah. And I always say that if there's something in the ingredients you can't read, it's probably not the best, right? So he will demonstrate to you how to make coconut milk with just 2 ingredients. Guess what those are? And hot or cold water? Hot water, because it will dissolve better. Exactly. Coconut in water. You know exactly what you get with this. Go ahead.
All right. So Arvick and I will be just making some coconut milk. So before we use a lot of soy milk, and we were from Costco as well, and then we shift to coconut milk, and now Arvi and I went to a 10-day health retreat in North California. And this book is Mercy Ballard. She has a health years restored program for that you can attend for 10 days, where you could be treated and as well learn on process of eating healthier, more on anti-inflammatory diet. So that's what we do. It was a challenge, but Arvi and I learned a lot from it.
Coconuts don't want to milk.
So we buy these flakes from Azure or Food to Live. So the ratio is 1 cup to 1.5 cups of hot water. So what we do at home, we make big batches. So we're gonna blend the flakes first, and then we'll put 1 more. Okay. So we let the children get involved in our kitchen. So it's very easy. You're not gonna have.
It doesn't mix.
Yeah. just gonna be crumbs on it. And you would notice too after that there'll be a little bit crumbs on it. Yeah. They recommend like a cloth to squeeze it and take all those big lumps on it.
No, I make milk out of brown rice. That's real simple.
Ready for water, Roger? So this is warm water.
I wear my earplugs too.
Then we can add more water. That's okay. Okay. 4 cups of coconut flakes and 6 cups of hot water, warm water. That's what we are making right now. That's it. We have the coconut milk. Thank you, Andre.
Question, can that be used to replace coconut milk in a recipe? Or is that just for breakfast?
So if you're doing the fat, like if it says just the milk, yes. But if you want like the solid part, so you refrigerate it, and then it will, if you don't strain it, it will be coagulate, it will form solid. And that was what we use for our, what did you make? Strawberry ice cream. So strawberry and then the coconut milk that separated from this, and you blend it with a little, and that's your ice cream. Is that yummy? Simple, right?
Well, it separates it.
It's like a coconut cream, right?
Huh?
It's like a coconut cream.
Yes. It will separate like a coconut cream, or you can, heat it up and mix it again if you want, but you can separate it for that.
But you have to freeze it for that, right?
No, it's just refrigerate.
Fridge.
Just refrigerate. This can last in your fridge for 3 to 5 days. But that's what we're going to have. Okay, is that simple? Okay. Oh, I should turn this on. So, I never said I would say I make my food. I buy my food. Now it's like, this is what we make. Okay. So is that something you can do at home? Yes. And you know what? Your food will be cheaper because we buy it on 6-pound bags for like, I don't know the price. But can you imagine that made, how many cups did he make?
2.
like two cups of coconut flakes. That's it. And you have 6 cups of milk. All right, the next thing is really important for me to share with you guys, soaking and sprouting. Now if you can read your microscopic text there. All right, so what is this called? A sprouting lid. And this is a
Mason jar.
mason jar. How many is this? I think this is 64. Is this 64? Yeah, it is. Okay,
Two
thank
quart.
you. Okay, so we bought some of these for sprouting. And what you see here, and I'll leave it out here, is buckwheat groats, right? Because today is a buckwheat breakfast. Now, we know when I was in the Philippines, we eat a lot of mung beans and we soak it and we sprout it. But isn't that a lost art anymore? Who here soaks and sprouts already? You have had. But do you do it consistently? No. Okay. So we do this consistently, and let me tell you why we do it on a scientific basis. Because when me and my husband attended the retreat and we studied all the studies, well, we read all the studies, what is inside, on the outside of your grains and your beans and this is called a pseudograin, because it is the seed of a flour. So you can Google that, buckwheat, it's a flour, and then the seeds are this one. Versus wheat, which is a grass, and then the grain, okay? So there are anti-nutrients on the surface of this. These are naturally implanted to protect the plant and the seeds from bugs and other pests. It's just a natural defense. And boiling it and cooking without germinating it actually will not break that anti-nutrients. And then what happens is there are amounts of phytates and lectins. Isn't that hard to pronounce? Can you say lectins? Say it again. Lectins.
Lectins?
Lectins. We have to say it so that when we hear it again, we'll say, oh, I heard about that. So phytates and lectins are natural defenses of the plant against bugs. Now with GMOs and hybridized food, lectins are higher in concentration. What do lectins do? They attach to your gut and damage your gut wall. So they cause leaky gut. Who's heard about that? Okay? So simply, I don't have pictures of it. You eat, right? Your stomach digests your food. It moves it forward to your small intestines. And then the nutrition goes through your gut to your blood. That's why what you eat makes blood. So look back on your last few days of food. Did you make good blood, or can you do better? Do better. We can always do better, right? So what happens when you eat lectins? That means when you don't soak or sprout your grains and your beans and your pseudograins, all that lectin activity is high and damages your gut. And then food particles that are undigested go through your blood and can cause allergic reaction and autoimmune disease. Give me examples of autoimmune disease that you've heard about.
MS.
Multiple sclerosis, diabetes, yes, type 1, yeah. What else? Fibromyalgia is an autoimmune disease. Owie. Systemic lupus erythematosus, SLE, is an autoimmune disease. Lyme's, the chronic Lyme, the acute Lyme is not autoimmune because it's caused by the tick, but you know that prolonged chronic Lyme? So many, hundreds. You can Google that, hundreds. And a part of that is because we ingest food that goes, I'm sorry, maybe. We ingest food that goes inside our blood that is undigested. One of them is lectins. This is why we soak and we sprout. So when we soak it, it hydrolyzes. Hydro, water, lysis, break. That lectin and the phytates slowly dissolves. So this one, friends, when you soak and you sprout, you see the picture there, it's really pink. It becomes slimy. It's slimy, and that's already removing that. And then when you sprout it, what is that called in science? Sprouting. After the seed, it germinates. When you germinate it, it releases good nutrition. And what else does it do? It breaks down those lectins again. So soak and sprout. Now how do you do that? Very simple, 12-12. Everybody say 12-12. 12 hours soak. So you just put water, cold water, not hot, okay? And then rinse it 2 times a day. Rinse it thoroughly. Empty, rinse. Okay? Twice a day, 12 hours soak, and then after that, remove all the water and then drain it sideways this way, and you're sprouting already. Now, do you need to see the tail to say you've sprouted? Not necessarily, exactly. Once you leave it for 12 hours, even though you don't see the tail growing, it has already started the germination process. So, do you know anybody with stomach issues? Do you know anybody who can't tolerate legumes and pseudograins and grains? It may be because we're not soaking and sprouting. I'll give you another tip. For example, you soak for 12 hours, you sprouted for 12 hours, then you cooked your food, and then you're still having issues with legumes. What you do is you cook it 2 to 3 times. You put it into a boil, throw the water, and then you put fresh water and cook it again. And that will digest again all that lectins and the phytates. Try it 2 to 3 times. My friend, who is my mentor, has coached somebody with rheumatoid arthritis. And she couldn't tolerate any of these until they soak and sprout and boil 2 to 3 times. Give it a try, give it a try. We cannot afford not to really have legumes and pseudograins in our diet. They're high nutrition food. Okay. Now, buckwheat baffle. My husband does that, so he's going to walk you on the process. Now, we're not going to demonstrate that because it's just put everything, blend, and cook, but we have it heating in the back for you. He has labored nights to cook your buckwheat baffle tonight, friends. Okay?
Yeah, it's one of our favorite breakfast meal, especially for the kids. So on your copy, the ingredients is 1 cup whole raw buckwheat that has been soaked and sprouted is what we use, and with 1/2 cup of sunflower seeds soaked and sprouted is what we use, and then it says there 1/2 cup of arrowroot powder. We substitute that with a 1/4 cup of cassava flour. Is what we substitute because they're kind of expensive. Arrowroot, and then one tablespoon of honey. We substitute it with coconut sugar, 1:1, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. What we use is vanilla bean is what we use because the vanilla extract has some alcohol content in it. And then 1/2 teaspoon of unrefined salt. We use Celtic salt on all our recipe. The Morton more processed food has some, I believe, aluminum on it. Yeah. And then 1 cup of water. So this depends on how much you want it to, the thickness on it is how much it varies. So it's simple. It just goes in the blender and mix it, and then it's ready to go. Thank you.
Okay. So who has heard about N-acetylcysteine, the vitamin here? Have you been hearing that? Okay. How about zinc? Yeah. Take your zinc, take your vitamin C. So our family, we choose to eat our vitamins instead of take our vitamins. That's why our food is balanced. So in here, when you saw that sunflower seeds soaked and sprouted, that's a very high source of N-acetylcysteine. So if you have COPD, a lot of phlegm, that will break it down. I actually prescribe that for COPD patients just to liquefy that. And then I like that you've discussed the substitutions, right? You can use tapioca starch. Cassava flour is half the recipe. So if it's 1 cup of any flour, cassava is half of that. Okay, and then with the sugar issue with fruits, not all fruits have high or low sugar. Berries, kiwi, grapefruit are okay in terms of sugar content. Okay, so we did that buckwheat waffle, and we're going to talk about the buckwheat cereal. So we talked about soaking and sprouting this, and very easy. What you do, once you soak and sprout, is you put it in your saucepan, you rinse it well, and then you add an inch of water. Do you measure it that way? I kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you dig in and see how far, and then you add more water. So just 1 inch of water, and then you add your salt to taste, and then you cover it. Where's my cover it? Yeah. So you cover it, and then let it go there until the water goes down. Why is it that we want less water in our food? Okay, what is the acid in your gut, in your stomach? What is it? Is that in it?
Water more efficient.
That's true, it's not diluted, right? You're not diluting your food. And another thing, friends, is drinking water while eating dilutes your God-given very strong hydrochloric stomach acid, as strong as Zon rocks. God placed it there to digest your food. So if you drink water too near your meals or during your meals, you're diluting that, and then you can come up with indigestion. And it's harder to absorb your food because your small intestines have to absorb the water before they absorb the nutrition. Does that make sense? Okay? All right. So it's very easy. That's a cereal. We're going to try that today, and then you add your berries too. Now we're going to call on Aliana. She's been practicing, friends, so give her a hand first. This is her job at home, that she will show you how easy it is to make your own. What are you going to make, baby?
Coconut pumpkin seed butter.
Coconut pumpkin seed butter. Do you like it?
Yes.
Before we eat this way, what is it that you eat for butter?
Peanut butter.
Okay. So we stopped eating that because peanuts doesn't have the best proteins. And actually, when I was in residency, we have a very passionate cardiologist. Don't eat peanuts. He said that you can only eat certain kinds of nuts like almonds and walnuts because peanuts fat is not as healthy as the others. So he actually mentioned a study that it caused hardening of the arteries in your heart when you eat peanut butter, other than the sugar, right? So we have gone to pumpkin seeds, which is very high in N-acetylcysteine or NAC. So go ahead and, did you wash your hands? Okay, very good.
Hi, my name is Aliana, and today we're going to be making coconut pumpkin seed butter. The ingredient is soaked, sprouted, dehydrated pumpkin seeds, coconut flakes, and salt. So I'm going to pour in our 1.5 cup of coconut flakes in the food processor. And then you process it. Don't add the pumpkin seeds yet.
How do you know it's ready if it starts hurting, like, a little bit? So that needs more time, so the flakes. You can buy shredded coconut and do it this way, but we found that doing this brings out the oils. So it's beyond chopping, but bringing out the oil. So the recipe says 20 minutes actually. 20 minutes. So we're going to be doing this for 20 minutes. I'm kidding. It doesn't last that long because it's a small recipe. And that depends on the size of your food processor. This is a smaller one, so it can only take that much. But if you have the 12-cup one, then you can add it. Let's look at it. Probably a little bit more. Just a little bit more. You see the notes there? There's a few tips on how to do it. It's the next picture, yeah. It is helpful to soak and dehydrate seeds and keep them stored in the freezer until you use them for recipes like this. because they go bad. You know, have you tasted nuts that are old? Kind of like that. When processing seed butters, it is helpful not to add salt until the end of the processing. Adding salt too early will greatly lengthen processing time. Okay? Okay, that's good. Perfect. So you'll see, sorry, I'm so sorry. It's like a little bit chunky already, so then it's time to go ahead.
Now we are going to put the soak-sprouted dehydrated pumpkin seeds. And then process it for 20 minutes.
Okay, this will take a little bit long. We'll take it to the back, and then when it's ready, we'll bring it out, and it will be liquid. It will run like a liquid, and you'll get to try it. Don't forget the salt. Go ahead. So note, the shredded coconut in this recipe will cause the butter to harden when stored in the refrigerator. Let it soften at room temperature prior to eating. It will harden once you get it out of the fridge. Okay. Let's see. So the next one would be the fresh fruits that we're going to do. Aryan, it's your turn. So remember, what are the fruits that are good low sugar fruits? Berries, kiwi, grapefruit. Okay. Now apples are also okay, especially the green apples. Okay. So if you have sugar problems, that's good. And then also, sorry. Banana would be high sugar. So I gave a lecture on diabetes reversal, and I said that. And then I talked about white bread. You know, Dr. Joel Furman, I didn't say this, okay, so don't hit me with a dart yet. But he said, the whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead. It's because of the ingredients of the bread. What's present there? Cups and cups of sugar. And then, you know the rest. So he said, if I'm going to choose between banana and bread, what can I get? But he doesn't have sugar issues. Okay, so what are you going to cut for us? Yeah, what is it?
Cantaloupe.
Okay. So the kids are really involved in the kitchen, and we've cut a few already, and then she's going to just slice the apple to tell us. Well, with other fruits we're going to serve blackberries today, and blueberries. Sorry, blueberries and strawberries, right? Yes? Oh. I don't think we'll put it in the jar. We're just going to put it in a bowl. There's a bowl inside, the white bowl. Okay, this is making me hungry. It really smells good. She's been requesting to eat some. But how many hours between meals do you eat, Arden?
5.
Why is that?
Because it needs time to digest.
Really? So how many hours before your food goes from your stomach to your small intestines?
4 hours.
4 hours, and then the 5th hour is for what?
For resting.
To let your gut rest, right? To let your stomach rest. Otherwise, we wouldn't be giving time for our gut to rest. So, is that hard for you not to snack? Because I know you used to snack before. No? You got used to it? So what do you do between those 5 hours if you're not snacking? What do you do instead? That's exactly what you do. You drink water between your meals. That's what we do. So, friends, you understood that up to 15 minutes, you can drink water. Yes, water, yeah. Hold on. Up to 15 minutes before your meal, you can drink water. That's okay. And then up 2 hours after your meal, you can drink water. The reason for that, again, is you want your food to properly digest. Stomach acids. Go ahead. Okay. So we're just going to add that to our cereal, our apples. It's okay, I'll wait. Just finish one apple and then we're good. And then after this, we're going to do our sunflower power smoothie. My husband will demo that. And how are our waffles? You ready? Okay. So who's hungry? You're hungry? And then we're ready, friends. So we're going to try all of this, and I encourage you to really enforce this at home. It's a complete meal. We do health coaching, and we help people eat better and live better, and this is one of the recipes, a whole breakfast. So this is more exciting for me than oatmeal and raisins, right? Because you can eat butter and good bread and fresh fruits, and you even have a smoothie to add. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Ariana. I'm going to call on my husband. Tata, it's your turn for the smoothie. Any questions?
So, young children shouldn't be snacking then?
Say that again.
Young children shouldn't be having
Even children? Yes. Even children, because what happens, friends, is digestion starts in the mouth. Actually, just digestion starts in the eyes. Because as soon as you see something you like, you start to salivate. And your salivary glands breaks down the starch. It starts already, and then you eat it. And then once the process starts, it sends a signal to the brain to talk to the stomach and says, food is coming, get ready. So then your stomach starts preparing for your digestion, and then you eat. Once you eat, your stomach moves left and right until it's a very thick solution for 4 hours. Try doing movement for 4 hours. Doesn't your stomach deserve rest? So anyway, so that's for 4 hours, and then after that, it moves the food along. What happens is, let's say you ate at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Your next meal should be 1 p.m. And you should be drinking water to aid your digestion. If you ate at 10 or at 9, that 4 hours starts again. So I tell the kids, oh, your stomach said, oh, 3 hours, 1 more hour to work, then I can rest, and then boom, you snack. And he's like, what? 4 more hours again? And don't allow your stomach to rest. I used to teach people, small frequent meals. Have you heard that before? Small frequent meals to control your blood sugar, small frequent meals to lose weight. But then I learned in physiology that the stomach needs 4 hours to do its job. It doesn't make sense. Now I know. And friends, at the beginning, it was like, I can't do that. I need my snack. But it is, your brain is clearer when what happens when we eat is all our blood goes to our gut. So then our brain is devoid of food. Who here has experienced sleepiness after a meal? Have you experienced that? That's exactly what happens. Because your blood goes to where the activity goes, right? If your activity is in your gut, that's where it goes, and then you're like sleeping. I've done that. It's not a good thing. So fasting makes your brain clearer. You need this, that. Thank you. We are almost ready. Maybe go ahead and prepare this side.
Okay, we're going to make the sunflower power smoothie, is what we call it. So we're going to make 4 servings of this, everybody will try. So on your handout, there's 3/4 cups of water. So we'll make 3 cups of water. So it's very easy. again, you just blend it all together. And so we have 8 tablespoons of sunflower that has been soaked and sprouted. Then on your 1 tablespoon, so we'll have 4 tablespoons of chia seeds.
Chia seeds.
So the berries we have here, some strawberries. So it just says 1/2 cup. It's always good to have more of the berries there and the oxidant.
No, yes.
I forgot my apple. Sorry. Yeah, and some apples.
Smoothie.
Oops. Now this is the good part. I love this Peru powder. If you love chocolate, this is what you substitute it with.
And while you're presenting, we're just going to show because it's done. Did it take 20 minutes? It's a small recipe. So just for you to see what consistency we're after.
And then the shredded coconut is and that's it. We're just gonna blend it all together. And we will have our sunflower smoothie.
Which is this? So then you put that in
There we have it. Yeah, we're ready. So with the power smoothie, in the morning we put two tablespoons of ground flaxseed. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, Any questions on that? Is that easy enough?
This is very nutritious, what you have, right? Did you see? We even make actually nutritional powder, and carob is really good, better than chocolate. And so this is easy to do, and then I intended to put a shopping list there, like you know what to buy. So I would just want to promote the clinic that we're going to open soon. We're in the process of inspection. It's going to be in Castle Rock. It's a natural-minded health clinic, medical clinic. What that means is we're not going to be increasing your meds. Our goal is to reduce or eliminate your medications, right? That's true. And we're going to exchange that with healthy lifestyle and a lot of prayer, right? So my dad, who is a Filipino who just went to the Philippines, he had hypertension and he had diabetes and high cholesterol, you know. My mom is very temperate. I have not met anybody with, well, I would take that back. But she has good self-control, so she has good medical history. Now, my dad, on the other hand, came to America with 100 milligrams of losartan. That's the highest dose you can give for that drug. But because he eats like we eat, and he's walking after a meal, and he lost his weight, his 100 went down to 12.5. 12.5 when he left. But you know what? He would have gone to 0, but you know, he can't give up some things he should. Right? Now, I tell my patients, like, our meds are not going to come all the time, right? Have you heard about the supply chain issue? So now is the right time to really think about our health and to stop depending on prescription drugs and take charge of our health. Amen?
Amen.
Now it would be, I have 3 checklists on our family's medical missionary service. Number 1, are we doing it out of love and self-sacrifice? So I was asking the Lord, what does self-sacrifice mean? What does that mean? And one time we were serving in another church in the children's ministries, and you know, you put hours on preparation, and one of the grandfathers said, wow, thank you for your sacrifice. And I'm like, oh Lord, that's what it means. You know, friends, this was a sacrifice, right? Lots of hours put on this, lots of training, but out of love for God's people to share healthy eating. Number 2, am I more concerned of teaching you how to live than removing your aches and pains? What that means is, are we more concerned in teaching health principles than relieving symptoms? That's where the health loss comes in, right? Because if you know the principles of your body, then you can diagnose yourself. So that little boy, when he's sick, I ask him, why are you ill? Guess what he says? I think this one. I said, so Audrey, why do you think you're sick? So he does a diagnosis on what health loss he wrote. He said, I think I sleep late, and I don't drink enough water, and I eat a lot of sugar. That should be our diagnosis, friends. It shouldn't be, oh, I have a headache, let me take an ibuprofen. It should be, what have I done? Why do I have a headache? Am I stressed? Did I not drink enough water? Is it my pillow? Did I sleep late? Right? So those are what, and then we tweak it. The third thing is, we can teach you what you eat, but if we do not bring you to the foot of the cross, to the God who loves you, who wants you to feel better, and who is coming soon, then we have lost the mark. So I want to introduce you to the God who made all these beautiful, colorful fruits. He loves you, friends. He's not taking anything away from you that is not for your own good. I was giving a lecture on caffeine, which I don't drink anymore, but I used to live on. And he's like, how about decaf? You know, the bargaining. So I have to remind him that whatever God wants to remove from you is only things that are not good for you. Let's not resist that. So with that, friends, I think we are ready. You know the menu today. Are you hungry? We're going to have the buckwheat cereal that you'll have with your milk. Then you can add fresh fruits to that. We're going to have the waffle, again with fresh fruits. And we are going to have your smoothie here. And you know, you'll say this is liquid, it's a very thick one, right? It actually simulates the consistency of the food in your stomach before you get absorption. So it's not thin. Okay, so we are going to pray, and I'm going to ask Audrey to pray for our food. Okay, Audrey, hold on. I'll give you the microphone. Okay, go.
Dear Jesus, thank you for the food on our table. Amen.
Amen.
We will be serving you, friends, and the line starts there.
Yummy.
Oh, I forgot. Other than the clinic, we do health coaching, and we do visit friends or invite them over to our home to teach them about healthy and clean cooking. All right? So we will send you the recipes for tonight, as well as a health and evaluation. If you're interested, just fill it out. Okay.